Hi guys, it is July 24, 2015. I was just going to do a video on a whole slew of articles that really prove just how crazy our world has become. But I came upon this, and you know what? This baby, it needs its own special attention. Not only because of the content, but because Maddie D for Truth. Maddie D for Truth is recognized in an activist post article, and yay, I really, really love it when I see people that I respect on YouTube getting attention and yeah, their names being mentioned for the work that they do. So kudos, Maddie D for Truth. But what is this about? Do you have any idea how manufactured our reality is? Do you have any idea how unbelievably manufactured our reality is? Do you have any idea how unbelievably made up, fake is our reality that's presented to us by mainstream media? Can you even handle the truth? I know you guys can. I know you guys can, but so many people can't. And this, well, it's not a truth that we can't handle because we've seen it before. People dying over and over and over again. But this Chattanooga victim, Lance Corporal Skip Wells, well, he actually died in 2004, and then again in 2015 in Chattanooga. Wow, he died once in Iraq and now again in Tennessee. Isn't that great? It's really quite remarkable. The Chattanooga shooting inspired an influential former general to call for internment camps for thought radicals. Pretty outrageous, I know. Imagine how sinister that agenda would be if the Chattanooga shooting is proven to be a scripted hoax. Once again, well, before I get to Matty D, let me just tell you who was it? It was Wesley Clark. And you know what? I actually made a video when he was first on MSNBC talking all that game. And I was, well, plug your ears if you don't like curse words, but I was rip shit. Wesley Clark, the guy who came out and trying to inform Americans that our U.S. military was going to be taking over 7 countries in 5 years, proven to be correct. Iraq and Libya and Somalia and, oh my God, I can't even remember all of them, Syria. And well, that plan is actually being executed, as we know. Wesley Clark. But he comes out on MSNBC, no doubt paid, no doubt the paid expert, to actually state that, well, it's their right and it's our right and obligation to segregate them from the normal community for the duration of the conflict. Well, that was what he said were the people who were radicalized. Now, this article states, not in quotes, fortunately, radicalized Americans. Yes, segregate them from the normal community for the duration of the conflict. Now, when I saw that interview and listened to him, he was talking about Americans. He wasn't just talking about Muslims. So all those people who were talking about, this is yet another, this is just like the Japanese internment camps. No, this is for everyone, everyone. And they don't even have to do anything. They just have to, well, seemingly appear radicalized. And he said, for the duration of the conflict. When is the war on terror ever going to be over? It's never going to be over because, you can't even have a war on a concept. The war on terror is endless. Endless. So, when we have a president who signed the National Defense Authorization Act that did away with our due process rights, Americans should have been outraged. Outraged. But no. Well, our president came out and said, I don't intend to use this. And then they all went back to sleep. Okay, he doesn't intend to use it. They don't draft this kind of legislation and then sign it if they don't intend on using it. National Defense Authorization Act that he signed completely destroyed our due process rights. America, get it. We no longer have the right to know what our charges are if we're picked up by our military. We no longer have the right to a speedy trial. We no longer have the right to be heard by a jury of our peers. Due process was destroyed when he signed that National Defense Authorization Act. And we have Americans walking around thinking everything's just fine. And then we have Wesley Clark who comes out and says that it's fine, that it's our obligation to detain for the duration of the conflict anybody that we consider to be radicalized. Really. Anybody who's disloyal to the country. Well, I'm disloyal to this government. I am disloyal to our military because I don't like what it's doing. So am I radicalized? Wesley, am I radicalized? Should you put me away for the duration of the conflict? War on terror? This fabricated war on terror. Lock them up forever. That's what the National Defense Authorization Act gave our military and our president the right to do. Anybody the president deems to be a potential extremist or a terrorist or radicalized, they can be picked up by our military and held indefinitely, and your family doesn't even get to know where you are. And we have Americans who aren't even upset about that. So, this guy, U.S. Army General Wesley Clark, is an absolute traitor. Okay, so let's get back to Maddie D for truth and prove me wrong. YouTube researchers, Maddie D for truth, yes, and prove me wrong, have uncovered records that appear to show at least one of the Chattanooga victims died years before the latest mass shooter media event. And you can see the video below. Good for you, Maddie. Good for you. And thank you for the work that you do. So yes, another hoax to bring in our New World Order, to solidify our police state here in this country, to get them moving on nationalizing the police, all to have central control, central command. Oh, God. It is so unbelievably upsetting. The solution, ma'am, is always the same. Meme, sorry. You're in danger. Give up your rights. Give us more authority and resources to protect you. You need us. You really need us. More arms for authorities, less for free people. Give away your guns and just keep paying the IRS to fork over your taxpayer dollars so that our authorities can be more well-equipped. This is what he said, Wesley Clark. If these people are radicalized and they don't support the United States and they're disloyal to the United States as a matter of principle, fine, that's their right. But it's the government's right. and our obligation to segregate them from the normal community for the duration of the conflict. All based on a complete and utter hoax. Okay. Are you guys staying sane? I hope so. Because you know what? These lies are getting so they're overwhelming. They're hitting us now rapidly. We're being drenched with them, saturated in them, and they're obvious. People are finding them out. Mainstream media is lying to Americans on a daily basis, 24/7. It's being found out. It's clear. All the evidence is in, and we still have these Americans walking around thinking everything is hunky-dory. Everything is fine. Jesus, when will they wake up?